Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for sticking with us through the break. Game number 2 of TongFu versus VG.Potential now underway with TongFu fighting for survival. syndereN, tell us about your struggles now living the life of petrification.
It sucks to be stoned all the time.
It's a tough life, man. It really is. Almost as tough as TongFu's if they go 2-0 in this series. VG.Potential favorites on Dota 2 launch. I have to say, they really look a lot more tight than they did in Phase 1. It seems like their movements are pretty concise, their drafts are pretty straightforward, and they just executed well. TongFu seemed like their draft was a little bit all over the place and didn't quite have that team cohesion that Potential did. But here we go, a fun one. Batrider makes it through to the draft. One of the first times I've seen him picked up in a while here, as he is always banned out. TongFu get it first. Will it be the secret they need to take this to an ace match?
Well, I don't know, but why is no one picking Sniper?
They don't like
again.
him.
They actually neither picked nor banned it in Game 1, which is the biggest surprise of the draft out of any for me. Looks like this time, like you said, they get the Batrider, no surprise there. And Queen of Pain, really popular right now, gets grabbed by VG.Potential together with Venge, that we talked about earlier today in another series, that Venge is not really the first pick support anymore to the same extent as she was a month ago, where nowadays, in many games, Lion has taken over, sometimes Witch Doctor, sometimes even Earthshaker gets picked more frequently, but this time around, they'll get Venge Quap, and the Juggernaut is okay against... He's good against Venge. Against Quap, it's a little so-so, right? If she blinks in aggressively, you just punish her super hard, but what if she doesn't, and you can't really engage on her?
But what if she just decides not to make the bad play? Then what do? Well, you just die. You feel the hurt. Venge against Batrider needs no introduction, kind of like you were talking about. And here he is, the other support that's the talk of the town. Great duo for VG.Potential. Lots of kill potential there, huge stuns, lots of disable. Everything you want in a support duo. TongFu, they get the Earthshaker. All right, that's a good start. Shadow Fiend is still available here, so they could have that Earthshaker Shadow Fiend duo. You don't sound so thrilled about that.
What? Well, did I make a sound?
No, but
I'm
I
just
took your
thinking.
silence as disgruntled.
I think Shaker is a fine pick. They need a defensive support to be able to protect against the Lion Venge rotations early on. Cover up their mid laner. They're probably going to put a mid laner who scales well with farm and safe lane the Juggernaut, who's perfectly fine if there's not too many rotations out of VGP. Then they don't need to be too worried here. The only real way Juggernaut gets killed here is if Lion gets to open with a Hex and they have like 2 or 3 heroes there. Else he's fine. So I like it. I think, once again, if you ask me, Sniper or Shadow Fiend probably a good pick for TongFu here for the mid lane when you have a Shaker protecting. But you could also argue Sniper, not necessarily a little scary if you're playing against both the swap of Venge and a very aggressive blinking hero like Quap who can blow you up, but ultimately, now you probably don't want Sniper anymore, so they get the SF.
Yeah, they take the Shadow Fiend nice and safe here. Good draft from TongFu, but the Spirit Breaker, I like this. Good against the Batrider. If you can somehow catch vision of him, you can charge him from across the map. Sometimes makes catching him out in team fights a little bit easier. I like the Spirit Breaker just in general. Very aggressive and something that VG.Potential can use to really make a lot of space for their carry, whatever it is that they'll pick here with their final. Pretty susceptible heroes to it as well. Pretty good against the Jug. You can charge him, bash him through his BKB TP with the Blade Fury. Good for trying to zone out a Shaker, and not a bad way to lock down the Shadow Fiend as well. Sometimes getting that Spirit Bomb, channeling the Requiem, easier said than done when you've got a Lantern bashing you in the face.
Yeah, Spirit Breaker has quite some merits here. He's also very good against Shaker in terms of laning, where the majority of kills Shaker sets up is, of course, by blocking the path with Fissure, and you can just charge across. So it gets very difficult to kill the Spirit Breaker, who I'm assuming they will put in the off lane. I can't remember the last time I saw a farming Spirit Breaker safe lane. And I am just guessing they put Quap mid. Very straightforward, very standard. And the last carry, I think there's a couple of heroes here that could be nice for VG.Potential. They banned out the Morphling here by TongFu. I think they could totally get away with something like a Spectre, because TongFu can't run aggressive tri lane against this lineup. Spectre Spectre Venge line with a charging Spirit Breaker is super scary to go aggressive try against with Shaker as one of your supports. So I think if I'm VG Gaming Polar here, damn it, if I'm VG Gaming Potential, I just get a really greedy carry like Spectre, Medusa, or maybe even PL I was considering, but they have decent PL counters with Echo Slam and of course Requiem. He could still work though.
Let's see. What does Secret like to play? That is the question. As we talked about, there isn't the most data on VG.Potential. Let me see if I can look something up real quick. He does play a fair bit of Slark, as we saw last game. Not banned out here. Could be something that he wants to try again. What else do we have here? Storm Spirit. Tiny, nope, only plays it with the Wisp. Slardar, okay, that is one that I don't think they play all too often. They have not played Slardar in a competitive game this patch. So
all right, Team Radiant has stuns.
Yeah, I like this.
Have truckloads of stuns.
I mean, you said something greedy, and Slardar can definitely fit the bill. One of the issues with this hero is if he doesn't get the space early to get that Vanguard Blink or Blink BKB or whatever order he decides to go for those items, very reliant on item progression to get that momentum to have a strong mid to late game. So I think it fits the bill pretty nicely here. And now they've got huge amount of stuns, plenty that go through BKBs, and TongFu takes Zeus. A lot of damage, but a hero that could fall victim to these gap closers. Your charge, your blink on Queen of Pain, your blink on Slardar, blink on Lion, and eventually swap Zeus from Venge. I feel like this is a tough Zeus game on the 4.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this, to finish off on Slardar, he makes a lot of sense to pick in the safe lane when you can get away with it and not get aggressed. He can still be really good when you aggress against him, but the thing you usually pick Slardar together with is some sort of carry who can benefit from the amplify damage, so it's not only Slardar that really benefits. They have a Quap who's okay with it, and a Spirit Breaker too, so I think it's good enough. But in a sense, I think they could have gone away with an even greedier pick, like I mentioned, a really hard carry. But maybe it's not VGP style.
Well, I would say this is not their style either. So this is almost just trying something new. I mean, this is an elimination series, not really the time where you want to just get some practice and start experimenting with heroes outside of your comfort zone, though I guess being up 1-0 in a series like this.
The stereotype of the hero just fits what they played last game and what the rest of their draft is here. Like it's by no means a bad pick. It makes sense for playing very aggressively and getting loads of stuns and being all over the place, which it looks like they want to be here. And if Queen of Pain gets good farm, she can definitely benefit from the amplify damage. She doesn't have to go carry build for that. Just getting a lot of intelligence, she will hit seriously super hard. Just with without anything like a Deso or an MKB or a Daedalus or anything of that sort, especially if they get a Cuirass as well on either Slardar or Spirit Breaker. So they do scale very well into late game. And I love seeing Slardar. It's one of my favorite heroes. I think he's very underpicked. It's just not the stereotypical Slardar lineup is what I was getting at, but they can totally make it work with their heroes now.
Well, then happy Easter to you, syndereN. You'll get to see a Slardar game today. Radiant already with a little victory here. They did counter-ward the Observer that Batrider put down, so now there will be no Rune Vision for TongFu. Their other ward, I don't think they were planning on having any anyhow as they put one in the lane up top. But that is the only ward they'll have for this initial round. Radiant side, they'll block out the pull camp here with one of their observers, and I believe they're still holding on to the second one. Although I'm not sure what they have in mind for it. Yeah, still in the inventory of the Lion here. So it'll be Secret on the Slardar. He'll be in the safe lane, already pressuring the Bat pretty hard. James! He's here on the Lion. He's got Hex leveled up here with his first skill. Dogfights will be on the Venge in the jungle for now. SSS, he'll be mid. And off lane, it'll be Yang on the Spirit Breaker. Already forced to use one of his charges. But plenty of regen and a Stout Shield. He's expecting to take some harassment here.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine for the Spirit Breaker that they spend a lot of time committing to shutting him down. Like, so the Zeus started with 4 clarities and it's just keep lightning bolting him, but when you have 8 tangos and a salve and a Stout Shield, you actually don't really mind. The more time the supports spend up here, all the less time they spend pressuring mid or even the bottom lane where, you know, this Batrider, if the Radiant play this well, he will actually not be getting level 2 down here anymore. The Equilibrium will be favoring the Radiant at this point. Venge will probably kill off a creep wave here or just pull it to the left and kill it off that way. And then the offlane is easily won by the Radiant side, who, of course, have a Spirit Breaker that will be getting level 3 soon. But what do TongFu do then? They stack the jungle. Either Shadow Fiend or Bat Rider can get it, but not both of them, unless they want to split it.
And that is one of the
That's something
fundamental
to keep in mind.
that we've seen before. And who should get the priority? The Bat Rider to recover, or should it all just go to the Shadow Fiend so he can try and get ahead and stay ahead? And I guess some of that depends on what Bat will be able to get out of this lane. He will try to make a move for the 2-minute rune, but Dogfights beats him to it. Grabs the invisibility straight away, and Bingo continues his trek to find level 2 elsewhere. You look at Yang up top. He's already found level 3. Goes for a second point in Charge of Darkness, though. An interesting choice. I feel like you don't see that too often. A 1-1-3 feels like the most common build I've seen on the offlane Spirit Breaker these days.
Yeah, it's about what you prefer, what Spirit Breaker's role is in the game. If it is to stun people or deal damage. Charge of Darkness is a reliable stun, so getting an extra 0.4 duration stun every time, it's not so much about the charge speed. I mean, 50 move speed is great and all. It's not like it's nothing, but you're prioritizing it over Greater Bash as there is a First Blood mid. Good rotation from Venge here. Very easy kill onto Shadow Fiend.
Don't worry, Sind. I caught it. The wraparound from the backside. Invisibility rune. I got your back, buddy.
Yeah, so as far as the picking charge over Greater Bash, if you look at the scaling, of course, the Greater Bash does get a lot more damage. It scales, of course, with your movement speed and a little longer duration, but the charge is just way more reliable. And his role in this game is to get fast level 6, charge someone, long stun duration, and then use the Nether Strike to set him up. I think damage they have more than enough of in their lineup. Queen of Pain can easily solo kill with a charge Nether Strike, doing the only part of damage that Spirit Breaker brings. Same with Slaughter, honestly. So.
Although
I think this is a really nice build.
He's in a little bit of trouble here, perhaps. Gets bashed. All right, he'll save the charge. But a great trade for the Spirit Breaker. Gets a last hit out of it and does big damage to the Zeus, who does have some regen for now, but we'll start chewing through those tangos. But, oh, no. It's all over. They screwed up. Bat Rider found level 6. I don't know how that happened.
I don't know. Level 2.
Or, did I say level 6? I meant to say level 2.
Yeah.
If
he was level 6 right now, they really screwed up.
Got too excited there about the screw up, but he'll get a triple stack, so this is good recovery. He'll have a well-timed level 6 at this rate, and that first hurdle is done. With a triple stack here, he'll just start getting the sticky going, and this will be an easy level 3, probably get him close to 4, and the road to recovery will begin. But now Shadow Fiend, he might need some recovery as well. SSS baits it out, Dogfights comes in, they get another kill on the Shadow Fiend. Charge from Yang to finish it off just in case the Quap didn't win the duel there. Now Bingo might be thinking, maybe I should wait for the Shadow Fiend to come back before I take down this stack, because, hey, after all, sharing is caring.
All right. I think, did you say Bat Rider's going to get level 3, maybe 4 from this stack?
Yes.
I'm going to gamble he gets level 5.
You think this is 5? How many stacks? Is this a 4 stack, actually? Okay, I thought it
was. A quarter triple?
It's a 4. There was a bird hidden in there, but we'll see.
Looks like it's not gonna be 5. It's gonna be 4.5, I guess.
It's gonna be
four and a quarter.
I was pretty close. I thought it was 3 stacks when I made that guess as well. But U9 in trouble again. Here comes the Spirit Breaker. There's a Sonic Wave this time. SSS blinks forward, very aggressive, forces 2 TPs as a reaction. The fissure's off the mark. And essentially wasted TPs from these supports. I guess they keep U9 alive. But VG.Potential should be fairly happy with that exchange.
Yeah, I would have obviously loved to get the kill there, but getting 2 support rotations is easily good enough for them right now. And with Slaughter getting a 5-minute Midas, which I'm not that big a fan of getting a Midas and Slaughter. I feel like it doesn't fit the hero too well. In some games, okay, so to correct myself, in this game, where VGP can easily get away with running a greedy safe laner, I think it's fine to get a Midas. But sometimes, like, Slaughter's role in the game is not to be a hard carry, where he scales a lot with the farm and gets a fast level 16. Sure, the amplify damage is great to scale up, but the first point in it is often enough. Like, minus 10 armor is a huge deal, as we're going to see right here. This is a pretty dead Bat Rider, more than likely, unless he gets across here.
Oh, it's close. Now Secret instant trouble. Slithering Crush on 2. Dogfights is here. Maybe they can turn it around. The Bat Rider comes back in. 3 HP. He's still alive, but just barely. SSS now chasing down Zyori. It's a level 2 dagger, and I think your Zeus is just going to be food here. No way to get away from it. There's your magic missile, and they find yet another kill. The Bat Rider limps back to the well, but still a double for Yames here on the Lion. 4-0.
Yeah, good rotation here. Looked pretty grim for the Slardar there after Bat Rider escaped the first initiation and the support came in from both Shadow Fiend and Zeus, but they couldn't land the raises. They got double crushed, and 2 easy kills go the way of VGP. And this is really good because if Slardar can go for this greedy Midas build-up and get away with it and even get kills, he got 1 assist there only, but still. That's really good, because what I was going to argue was Slardar isn't really a super late gamer. He's extremely strong in the mid game with just Tread's Blink, and then building into BKB for the mid-late game makes him an incredible fighter. And if you just free farm with him and the rest of your team gets away with it, that's fine. And yeah, that's another dead Shadow Fiend.
It would have been an easy kill for the Quap, but he actually didn't have the mana for it. So they still get the kill, though. That's 0, 4, and 0 on this Shadow Fiend. 4 of the 5 kills have come out on him. And he is just crippled. Down to 8 Necromastery stacks. Just Brown Boots, Bottle. Oh my. This is a Shadow Fiend that is now a liability. And maybe a bigger problem here. These supports. LPC only level 2. Zyori only level 3. Then you look at the Radiant side. Spirit Breaker 5. Venge 5. And Lion, he's level 4. Soon to be 5 as he leeches XP in the top lane. It's all on King J right now.
And it just feels like game 1, right? Doesn't it? Like in game 1 they had a Rubik and Silencer. They were doing a pretty decent job at getting levels though, but this time it's a Zeus and Shaker, so with a little bit of a funky support duo, I guess you could say, in both games, and they're just not getting the job done. They're not finding aggression, and it is pretty difficult to kill with Shaker Zeus. It's not the best duo ever, but you can definitely gank for Shadow Fiend in mid with a Shaker alone. When Shadow Fiend's level 5, Fissure into double raise on Quapple more than
they get the jug.
More than enough and give you the kill.
That was close.
Yep.
That was really close. That's a big kill.
The supports just seem to be moving around without a goal right now. Like LPC on the Shaker has just been moving from lane to lane, missing quite a few fissures, not really had much of an impact. Zeus is struggling to find levels. And on the flip side, you've got VG with level 5 on Venge, level 5 on Lion, setting up kills. Lion is 3-0, Venge is 1-0 and 5. Found all 6 kills with this Vengeful's rotations. And now as a result of that, Spirit Breaker also now level 6. It's just very easy for them now to find kills wherever they want to go. And what can TongFu really do to counter it? They have to have Shaker in the right place at the right time. There is no other protection for anyone on the Dire side.
Shadow Fiend is still reasonably high level. I guess that's one saving grace from this mid. He is 8, SSS soon to be 9, but the item disparity starting to grow. Treads versus Brown Boots, and now the beginning of the Orchid comes out with that first Robe of the Magi. Let's check in on the Slardar. Hand of Midas, Brown Boots, and a Magic Wand now completed. His farm's not balling out of control quite yet. King J is rotated down, and now the position ones will square off. King J finding himself in a little bit of trouble, though. Amp damage is there. Follow-up stuns from the Lion. All they needed for the kill was a little bit of extra damage, and Slardar finds it. Pounds him down through the healing ward. Makes it 7-0 as VG.Potential further their lead.
And this is a Slardar with a Bottle and a Midas. Also, still getting these kills in the safe lane. There goes a Bounty Rune. His build-up is really good. I guess he's topping the net worth. Yeah, he is. There's a pretty big gap down to the Dire heroes. About a 4K lead for the Radiant at this point, 7-0.
Bat has recovered, though. Look at Bingo. He's like 100 gold from his Blink Dagger.
Yeah, he's the only one doing well, though. That's the problem. So everything is on Bat Rider right now. He has to find the setups for the team, and they have to be on point, because Bat Rider obviously doesn't have really good solo kill potential. But if TongFu are there at the right point with, for example, Shadow Fiend, very easy to get kills with Lasso into 2 or 3 raises. It's also pretty easy with Juggernaut into Omni Slash, and more than anything, they need the supports to be involved so they get levels. And they're currently letting Zeus get the top lane. I think that's a really good choice, giving Zeus a level 6. Maybe even level 7 up here. And Juggernaut can, of course, jungle pretty well. He's, by the way, not going the Mask of Madness build that I feel like we see every single game. He's going drums.
So now he can't jungle that well. That's one of the great things about the Mask of Madness build. Aside from Roche control, it opens up for you to just move into the jungle and let someone else take over the lane. Now the tower down bottom falls. There will be a lot of heroes coming in, but a charge onto King J. Secret maybe going in too deep. Takes an Omni Slash to the face and gets blocked out. King J lands on the right side of him to just create this little barrier. And the Slardar will fall. A little bit unlucky for the Slardar, but a bit hyper-aggressive, I think. Not expecting 4 members of TongFu to rotate down. They still haven't seen this Blink Dagger on Bat. It might have been debuted just there, but he will try to hide in the fog and catch someone if they do come for a tower defense.
They still got the tier 1, though. I do believe that did go to the Radiant here. Was not denied.
Was not denied,
almost tier
indeed.
1 mid here.
And
Claimed as
ZingQ
well
falls
by
up top. Yep, solo kill for Yang. So they will get a tower out of this. They punish the Slardar, right? But it's just, yeah, anytime they make some step forward, VG Gaming is right there with a step of a similar stride or one even larger.
It just seems too easy for VGP to move around the map. I think that was the biggest problem in both games. In game 1, they got off to a pretty weak start, TongFu, I think, and in terms of strategy, I didn't like their draft that much. I feel like it's the same story here where they have a very restricted draft where certain things have to come together, and if they don't, their whole lineup just gets massively delayed. Whereas VGP, very flexible, easy rotation supports, easy rotation offlaner, mid laner can gank, their safe laner can gank. Like, they can move around the map however they want, and any 2 of their heroes, literally any 2 heroes can take a skirmish together and find a kill. If you look at TongFu's lineup, they can't do it the same way. Like, Zeus Shaker aren't going to kill anyone, most likely at this point. Shadow Fiend Zeus, they can't kill anyone together. They have no lockdown. Zeus Batrider would have been terrible together until Batrider got the blink. So this timing window, which, yes, the Batrider blink is okay. Well, when's he going to do something with it? I think it's about time.
It is certainly about time. Looking for the openings, but VGP not making them available. Yang, almost level 9. He went for a Hand of Midas too. This is full greed mode here. You don't see Spirit Breaker get Hand of Midas ever. You're talking about, you know, what fits the bill for what Slardar contributes. I feel like Hand of Midas on Spirit Breaker is pretty strange. But if greed will allow, why the hell not? Lasso coming in. Batrider gets broken straight away with a swap, but they lose the Venge, and they'll also get the kill on Queen of Pain. King J with a big Omni Slash. Sets up a series of kills, but now Secret coming in, finger to bring down the Juggernaut. Secret may get punished here. Wand keeps him alive for now. U9 is hasted up under the tower, now getting charged by the Spirit Breaker. He does not have another strike, not enough mana, and no stick. So he'll just come cruising on through and has to retreat instantly. Takes a zap, takes a fissure, but they can't get the kill. 1 for 2. At least it's the Jug that VGP get the kill on.
Decent trade-off here for TongFu. They got the rotation with Batrider. They get a lasso, even though it got broken by the Venge swap. Venge put herself in a really bad position. They get a very good double fissure, and they get the Omni Slash off from King J's Juggernaut. So that's the kind of play TongFu need to make every time there's a lasso. Try to eliminate the downtime for Batrider. Set him up with either smoke ganks or with just good rotations where you predict movement out of VGP. For example, this Slardar bottom will most likely take another wave, if not even 2 here. And then if they rotate it down Batrider +1 right now, they might be able to find a kill very soon with a smoke. But instead they go and cover their own jungle here where, like, it's just not as likely to find a kill right here. He's even going to walk through a ward that they obviously don't know is there, but if they want to just brute force push this top tier 1, I think they're making a really big mistake. I don't think they have the strength in their lineup yet to do this.
Well, Yules now comes out on the Shadow Fiend. He's found a little bit of recovery with 92 CS. Queen of Pain closing on the Orchid, but still needs to farm up a little bit more. How's Slardar looking towards the Blink? 1,600 gold, he's getting there, and I think VGP will try to stay a bit quiet until he finds it. Yeah. They jump on in mid and ZingQ. As we talked about in the draft, just absolute food. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Batrider uses that dagger for a successful lasso kill on the Lion. They trade support for support across the map, and here TongFu will be able to claim the tower. But I think VGP happy with an even trade for now because they just want this Slardar to get his blink, and looks like they just move into the Roche pit here. With the amp damage,
this is a really good
easy.
ward from the Dire. They have to contest this if they can, but maybe they can't. So this is the problem. They crossed all the way to the top lane, and they did get the tower and a kill, which on paper looks pretty good, but it comes at a cost, right? They're trading. This Roche is now going to die. And what they could have done instead with a rotation bottom was to maybe find a kill for nothing. Although this is really good fissure.
Okay, Yang tanks the Omni Slash. He goes down first, dog fights, he'll get flame broken, and he'll go down as well. 2-for-0 trade after the Roche, but they don't pressure the tier 2 top, so it's still an okay trade for VGP. Aegis on the Quap still standing, and Secret now has gold for his Blink Dagger. I think that's still an okay trade.
That was a really good fissure there coming in from LPC. They needed that badly. Finds 2 heroes with the fissure, they get an easy kill, and then the Juggernaut also finding the killer, and I believe it was the Spirit Breaker. Yeah, it was outside the pit. They don't manage to get the tier 1, but they get fairly close, and they get some sort of map presence right now where the next lasso, which is available now, he just needs to get mana for this straight away. Even with a Force Staff now completed as well for Zex Bingo, should be able to... Do they have smokes? They have 1 in stock, and any of the supports carrying 1? Looks like not. So 1 smoke remaining for the Dire. This smoke needs to not only give a kill, but also an objective if possible. So smoke killing mid and getting the tower would be a really good play right now.
Oh, do they reveal the smoke for the Courier? That's the question they're asking themselves now. Instead, they jump onto LPC. They show off the Blink Dagger and the Orchid with SSS getting credit for the kill. Courier flies over the tree line here, and that'll keep it safe for just a moment as Secret moves into the jungle to clear out some Mud Golems. So only an Earthshaker, but this should yield a tier 1 tower kill as well. Looks like TongFu will just rotate to the other side of the map.
So this is, this is what I just said TongFu needed to do, and then it's VGP doing it. So, similar to game 1, once again here in game 2, VGP with just seems a strategic edge and a little better understanding of movement patterns and when to make what plays here. Just this smoke, see, this is a high-value smoke kill. They got a kill on, even though it was just a shaker, they got full tier 1 tower. They lost absolutely nothing for it, as they are rotating back to mid to defend this tower with Slardar. And, well, looks like Zex Bingo just used Firefly to farm the jungle, so he's not ready to go for this initiate mid. And, man, if they don't even go for this tier 1 mid with the Radiant pushing top tier 2, they're making a really big mistake. All right, here comes the movement.
And there is a double damage in the bottle of the Slardar, so perhaps not an ideal time to square up for a fight. Batrider hanging out in the trees. They are anticipating a TP rotation to defend this tower. And VGP, they're happy to trade the tier 1 mid if that means they can get a tier 2 in the top lane. This is one of those key access points into the jungle, and now with this down, they can feel a little more safe getting aggressive in the Dire jungle, knowing that there are less access points for allies to TP to and linger around safely, especially with this ward up here on the high ground. Their tier 2 mid won't take too much damage. Ultimate from Zeus comes out. And just scouting VGP, they will all make their retreat. And everyone will survive with Slardar. Oh, find a little stray pick off there. Hey, Zeus. Still plenty of time in that double damage room. Gets a freebie.
And they're trading... VGP are getting the favorable trade with a double Midas. We should not forget that they start paying more and more for themselves here as Spirit Breaker has a Shadow Blade. Here we go.
And Yule's used onto the Shadow Fiend, sets up for a huge Sonic Wave on 3. LPC, U9, and King J all get thrown 6 feet under. SSS, the man of the hour, making that look easy.
That was really, really good execution from VGP. So nice self-Yules by the Shadow Fiend when the ult of Spirit Breaker was about to come in, but the Orchid from Quap prevents Shaker from casting Fissure and Enchant Totem there, and even the Echo Slam, and then that Sonic Wave just blew them up entirely. Very nice rotation as Batrider is get crushed.
He blinks forward with the lasso, can't find it, and the counter initiation is there from the Slardar. Now Yang follows up, they go on to Xingqiu. They'll get another kill out of it. Somebody TP'd to the tower, now he falls. It's a bloody disaster for TongFu. All of a sudden, all 5 are in the grave. It's another 3-for-0 trade. What happened? Why'd they do that?
They're really getting outplayed. And they look like a team that has no, in their drafting and their movement and everything, they look like a team that has no clear plan of what it is they want to execute. It's obviously very difficult for us to call since we can't hear their communication or anything, but just watching their movements, it seems so uncoordinated, right? The way they're moving, the way they're engaging, the way they're prioritizing farm, the way they draft and put lanes, VGP seem way more like a solid squad that knows exactly what they want. You're just seeing it in their movements. They're very crisp, they're very fast, they're very determined in their plays, and they're playing like a team that's ahead, which they definitely are. So don't get me wrong on that, but like the whole game they played like they were ahead. From minute one, they are the ones taking the initiative. They're the ones with the aggressive lineup, finding kills, and TongFu keep trying to respond, and they're always too late.
Yep.
Always too late.
BKB now out on the Slardar. The Hand of Midas really starting to pay some dividends with both him and Queen of Pain farming out of control. SSS now 3.3k gold on top of the Orchid. 6-1-7 on this Queen of Pain. Another great showing from their mid player. King J, the only hope. Man, how he has fallen. His farm was looking pretty good early on, but Sind, I feel like the phase into Mask of Madness into Yasha build is just objectively better than the phase into Drums. I mean, maybe if you're up against a really bursty lineup, you just need to survive against an Axe or something, and you need the stats, maybe you get the Drums, but the Mask of Madness, it opens up so many possibilities. You can move into Roche, you can farm the jungle, you can make space for your friends and still get a lot of farm yourself. It buffs up your Omni Slash, so your solo kill potential goes up. Am I crazy here, or why the Drum of Endurance in this particular game?
I agree. I think he got the drum. It might be personal preference that he's used to playing Juggernaut this way. I think the tankiness is a very good argument against a lineup that has both Lion and Quap that you need to live. But ultimately, you know, this extra strength he gets from the drum, if he gets caught, he's screwed anyway, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I would have definitely gone for the Mask of Madness build and farmed up a lot faster and tried to become strong. And instead he went for like a hybrid combat build that isn't really working anyway, because TongFu aren't taking the fights properly, so he can't. Now he has nothing to fall back on.
Yeah,
His build is going to take a very long time to come online now.
And now BKB's coming out for VGP. That's two, one on Secret, one on SSS, and another one around the bend as Yang has that Ogre Club already. You went that Shadow Blade, first item after Midas. Seems like it's worked out for him pretty well. He's 2-1-7, had a pretty good showing this go-around. Ooh. Dire getting scouted out here. They do have this ward on the low ground. And they'll see the courier fly overhead. Secret smoked up in the tree line. Both teams kind of playing chicken here, waiting for the other to jump forward. But uh-oh, Bat Rider, he can get jumped on. Ooh, blinks in the nick of time. Nice reflexes there from Bingo. Okay.
The smoke from VGP, they would have loved to find a kill there that would have basically given them the bottom tier 2 for free. They might still be able to just take it with a fight, though. Venge needs to be in a good position, and then if Slaughter finds an opening with a BKB, the Dire actually can't kill him. The only thing they can do is that they can lasso him, and then they can swap that. He'll live through the Omni Slash easily. This is a very dead Zeus.
Catches Zing Q out. The ward on the high ground, giving them the little intel that they needed right there. This guy, the Gosu warding spot, as Winter likes to call it. It's even counter-warded right now, and it's still saving, or still not saving lives. I mean, that's just... This spot gives so much vision if you're fighting in this area of the map. Oh, boy.
Yeah, this tower is... I think it's pretty gone. Charge from Spirit Breaker? No Shadow Blade ready, though, so he's going to cancel it. He just wanted to Midas. That's sick efficiency, charging to a lane to Midas.
Well, only one outer tower remaining.
Gem.
Yep.
Yeah, this is just very solid. Methodical play by VGP there. Even though their smoke gank failed, they did it for the right reason with the right timing. And then they find a secondary kill instead. They take the objective. Now they buy a gem. They feel like we're far ahead. We now need to counter-ward the map. They're going to do that with James. And once again, you just see TongFu. You could just feel in the movement on the map how they're just getting more and more demoralized. And the whole map is just falling apart. Yeah. They're like getting claustrophobic here.
Yeah, that's a good phrase for it. The last outer tower will get some pressure now with Secret just lingering nearby, ready to blink BKB and go for a fight. I feel like this Bat Rider is definitely a weak point for TongFu. 1-1-3. He hasn't fed, but a good Bat Rider player needs to take risks and needs to set up some kills, and he just hasn't had a big enough impact, especially with a Blink Force Staff. I mean, these are good items. This is your core kit, and he just hasn't been able to get the lassos and isolate someone. The few that he has, Dogfights has pretty much been there ready and waiting with the Nether Swap to break the lasso. Tough game for the Bat Rider, but I think they were really hoping for more initiation power with a pickup like this, especially after giving him all that priority in the jungle. Remember that triple stack and some of the subsequent stacks that didn't go to the Shadow Fiend. He could be at a BKB by now. He'll pick it up, but a very delayed timing, despite being the leading farmer for TongFu.
All things considered, I actually think UU9 has really good farm. Having 200 CS minute 26 when your entire map is falling apart, you're losing all objectives, you're losing all fights. He's still almost keeping up with the Quap. I think that's pretty impressive.
Oh, yeah.
He's making the best out of a bad situation. He's really trying, but
no doubt.
The problem is this BKB on Shadow Fiend, like you said, is pretty late, and if he BKBs and he gets amplified after, the Slaughter can like kill him in like 4 swings or something. So he's not tanky, that's the problem. The BKB gives him immunity, and the reason it's often very strong on Shadow Fiend is that heroes at this point in time in the game, or like say 5 minutes ago, don't really hit that hard physically yet, but the Radiant lineup actually does. So he also needs a tank item in addition to this BKB, and then, well, when does the aggressive item come that allows them to deal damage?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even if he goes Scotty next item, that'll give him some good stats, but still his damage output not nearly as scary as it could be. Blink on the Lion, he's had it for some while, and now a gem picked up. And Queen of Pain has her BKB with plenty of gold left, and the newest BKB to join the club is going to be on Yang here, the Spirit Breaker now with magic immunity of his own. Secret also looking towards an Assault Karas, perhaps. Handamitis Hyperstone, he's got a lot of attack speed. With Treads on top of that, he is a beast. He is a force to be reckoned with for sure. And VGP, they might just try to go high ground straight up here. They've got an Aegis. It is on the Slardar this time instead of the Queen of Pain. And
just
deciding
to
to
amplify damage on the tower.
That's not happening. Then I think we'd see Slardar picked up a little more frequently. Minus 20 armor on towers. Oh my. That sounds pretty strong to me.
It's like double Kiras and double Deso with 1 click on a tower. That's pretty good.
Yeah. That would be... There would be riots on Reddit when that change comes about. Alright, what's the play here for VGP? I think just patience. And yep, there it is. There's the smoke. So they'll just wait for TongFu to move out of the base, try and do a smoke wraparound, catch one, and once they have a 5v4, some sort of power play like that, they'll go for the jugular. May do it already. Yang charging on through, has the Shadow Blade on.
Okay, Yang.
Very bold here. Nether Strike onto Xingqiu, gets lassoed, but does have the BKB on still. Trades his life for the Zeus. Not really ideal. A Sonic Wave also comes out. There's no Ags on this Quap, so it's a long cooldown. That felt a little forced.
That was really aggressive. Well, what they did do with that was they protected their ward, actually, but Bad Rider didn't lose his gem, so they can go there later. Still, trading Spirit Breaker for Zeus here is actually not the worst play in the world because they keep dominating the map. I think the goal for VP or VGP right now is just to prevent TongFu from moving out in the map at all. And if that means they're trading 1-for-1 to protect their ward, that might actually, in the long run, totally be worth it because this means they can't farm, right? Now, VGP maintain control of the map. All 5 heroes on the Dire are inside their base, and there's absolutely no way in hell VGP want to try to push this tower right now, but they're just out farming. They could farm, you see the Ancients being farmed by Slardar, they can farm the Dire jungle now with Quap, and the only hero who dares to move outside the base is Bad Rider. He dared to do that for like 5 seconds, and now he's out of there. So it's just really good efficiency here from the Radiant.
It certainly is. 2 minutes left on their Aegis. I'm not sure if they'll actually try to make a play at high ground with it. Honestly, it feels like they don't really need it. Any fight that they'd win with the Aegis, I feel like they'd pretty much win regardless. Maybe take a little less in terms of casualties, but it's just finding that right angle to initiate. They're not quite strong enough where they can just bull rush up to the high ground, knowing that the lasso is off cooldown and there could be a Shadow Fiend ready and waiting, especially with that fissure to kind of break things up. But if they can just catch one, I think that's all they need to tip the scales. And here they will venture out of the base. Their ward, they'll let it go down as it was just about to expire. Dire, they put their ward down to get some vision control back. It's something, but not too much.
It's the right play, though. They have to try to get out on the map. If you let yourself be completely controlled when you're behind, you're never going to win. Like, then the enemy team just totally outfarms you. So they need to try to go for these aggressive plays. However little aggressive they may seem, at the very least they're aggressive. Like, they're moving out on the map, they're trying to push waves, they're trying to get vision, and maybe they get a lucky pick-off, maybe they get maybe a team fight even set up, and that could be the way to a comeback. But it is definitely the way to go about it here as, well, Slardar, his Aegis is going to expire in about 30 seconds, so I don't know if they want to try to use it. He's kind of drained his entire health pool farming Ancients, so maybe he's going to just play it safe and wait here. Get the full regen. They could even wait for next Roche.
Smoke, I think. Is it on the courier? No, did they use it? No, it's still on the courier. Okay. So Spirit Breaker denies the tier 2 down, the tier 2 down bottom. Yule's Scepter on the way for the Lion, and Queen of Pain now goes for a Lincoln Sphere. So opting for another defensive pickup, but getting some good stats, and now pretty beefy. They can really buff up their Slardar and make him essentially immune to the lasso. There will be a Force Staff available on the Bat Rider, but if he has to use the Force Staff to break the Lincolns, he's not going to be able to isolate the Slardar or anyone else for that matter with the Flaming Lasso, so still manageable for VGP. I like this pickup here.
Here comes the fight. This is when it has to happen.
James, the one caught by the lasso, didn't have a chance to get the Lincoln's buff on him, but now the follow-up's here. SSS goes for LPC. He's getting charged, but killed by the Quap. Now U9 sets up a kill onto the Venge. A 1 for 2 so far, but U9 will get punished. The amp damage through the BKB, as you mentioned, still makes him super squishy. ZinQ will take the Nether Strike. He'll go down. It's just King J and Bingo to make it back to the base. Ends up as a 2 for 3. Favorite going for VG.Potential. TongFu putting up a decent fight. All of their heroes with buybacks, but still coming up short.
Yeah, they didn't have Juggernaut there. I think they could have won that fight with King J in the area. I'm not sure. Or he wasn't there, right? He hasn't cast Omni Slash. He hasn't used Manta.
He was kind of nearby, but didn't really want to burn the Omni Slash. It didn't seem like a great opportunity to use it, but now he's going to get charged. He's going to get obliterated before he can even Manta or Omni. Now 3 heroes in the grave. Let's take a look at some buybacks. 1 will be used by the Shadow Fiend. Zeus will respawn, and Jug, he'll hold on to his for now. Buyback enough for VG.Potential to back up and not get too fancy here. They'll continue to play this one safe.
Yeah, that really sucks for TongFu actually, because that smoke gank they just did around the mid lane where they got the 2 for 3 fight. If Juggernaut is in a good position, that's actually a TongFu fight 1. But instead they end up coming up 2 to 3, and then the Juggernaut ultimately gets caught in the end anyway. So that's like adding insult to injury. That could have been the play. And now the problem is these smokes have 12 minutes cooldown. So I mean, do they even have any left? How long would they need to wait? They have 1 in 1 minute.
Yes.
That's the chance. That's like the last chance for me. If they smoke with that and they get a good fight, they have a shot. If they don't, they get starved for 10 minutes. They lose Roche, and this Roche will have Aegis and Cheese. And I think VGP just take 1 good fight and end the game.
Yeah, that will certainly make things a fair bit easier. Both teams actually running low on smokes right now. VG.Potential will have theirs in just about a minute's time. There's your Yule's Scepter coming out on Lion. More item progression here, as it looks like Slardar maybe thinking about a heart as his next item. He has the Vitality booster for now. I can't imagine much else he'd do with that. So just looking to be a complete monster in terms of raw HP. He has the damage now and just wants to beef up to make sure he doesn't have to worry about death.
Yeah, heart is the good item here. I think it's not that good against Zeus in the sense that Static Field, of course, counters high HP heroes, but with the BKB, he doesn't care about Zeus anyway. Then he just needs to survive the Omni Slash, and high health and high armor tends to do pretty well against Juggernaut. So
yep, pretty much.
I think it's the right call, and they need a siege engine too. Someone has to be able to go and hit the towers, and Slardar with a heart and an Aegis should be should do the trick.
Heart, Aegis, and AC at that. I think so.
Yeah.
So SB, he completed his BKB. He's turning into quite the right clicker here. A tertiary carry for VGPs. He now has an S and Y, fairly beefy himself, and with the Shadow Blade, plenty of attack speed, plenty of attack damage. The Spirit Breaker is actually something to fear. With that Hand of Midas, he's very high level. All 3 cores on VG.Potential, just about 20. Spirit Breaker sitting at 19, and that is a pretty good advantage over TongFu. Another good Sonic Wave, connects on 2. Follow-up lassos there, but Quap still gets the kill on the Shaker. Dogfights will end up going down. King J, whoa, he takes a finger, and will go down again. 1 for 2 so far. Lion putting the Yules after ZinQ Yules as well. There's your Spirit Bomb, brings down 2, Lion and Queen of Pain, but they will punish U9 for this, and it'll end up as a disastrous fight. A 3 for 4. I guess all things considered, given the position of TongFu, that's about as good of a team fight as you can hope for.
Yeah, if you're behind 20,000 gold and you get a 3 for 4 outside your base, I think that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
The Omni Slash on the Quap there did a lot of damage before Venge swapped. I think they were a little bit out of position, and Quap jumped the gun a little bit in the initiation. And good response there from King J. That's the difference. That's what can happen when Juggernaut is there. He gets to almost solo a hero before the swap comes, and sure, they swapped. I guess they wanted to swap after the lasso, but letting a hero tank almost a full Omni Slash before the lasso comes is generally not the way to go around it. So, yep, that is going to be an okay fight for TongFu, I guess. Kind of doesn't change the state of the game, though, as they're still extremely far behind.
Yeah.
The
it kind of levels it out for a minute or so, at least stops the growth for VGP, but they're going to need to do that a few more times and then some to really start climbing their way back into this match. Roche has respawned, though, so maybe he'll become the focal point of this game. I don't think it's been scouted out by either side. TongFu do have vision control in that area for now, but their observer is actually just about to expire. Rather unfortunate timing for them.
Yeah, this is where the game ends, more than likely. The Radiant will now see Roaches up, they'll go for it, TongFu will try to fight, they either get a really good fight here and get a shot at coming back, or they lose the Roche, or they don't fight for Roche, and then they lose the game anyway. This is, the call has to be go here, and they're gonna try.
Zeus ults, gets a little vision.
He's gonna get charged though, this is a problem. Oh, they cancel the charge. Just buying time. This means Firefly will be down.
Giving them that little bit of intel they need. The ward expires now, but it's long enough to see them walk into the pit. SSS trying to defend that ward on the high ground. The game of chicken continues as both sides try to find the right angle to initiate. King J will get charged. Yang uses his BKB. The follow-up is there. LPC, the first casualty of this fight. Now King J gets bashed through his BKB. Nether Strike, Sonic Wave is there. Kill on 2. Juggernaut and Batrider both fall to Yang, and that's it. TongFu call it there. They don't have a buyback on the Jug, and they say, we're not getting Roche, and we're not even going to bother defending our base. That's it. 2-0. And the run for TongFu is cut short.
They just got outplayed in all aspects of the game, in both games. They got outdrafted, they got outmaneuvered, individually outskilled. Overall decision-making and just strategizing just seemed like VGP were a way better team today, and were more of a team, right? You had the feeling that they were really communicating, playing together, trying very much to set things up and do things as one unit, whereas for me today, TongFu looked like a mix. Like they looked like a group of players that hadn't really played together in the past. They got together to just, just try to play together as a group. They seemed never really to be on the same page. There were a lot of moments in the game where you feel like if that was VGP playing TongFu's heroes and vice versa, then maybe VGP would have come out ahead in the fight and would have made a different call and moved differently. So ultimately, draft is only so much. I did favor VGP's draft in both games, though, and they do end up winning both games. But for me, draft was not the most important thing of the series. I think VGP they were just better in every way, and draft is only one of those things. So, yeah.
Agreed, my friend. Well, 2 pretty quick games in both series. Honestly, 4 fast games, so maybe not the best night for your expert analysis, Sind, in the opening round of the lower bracket, but appreciate it nonetheless. We had some fun games, some action-packed ones, and well, hopefully you'll be available to join us again in the future. I don't know what your schedule looks like, but there may be some co-casting opportunities for the remaining duration here of Phase 2.
All right, well, we'll have a look at whether it fits or not, but at least, yeah, thanks for having me today, and enjoyed casting the games, even though, like you said, they were pretty one-sided, but yeah, it's still good to cast some games.
Well, if you guys enjoyed the cast, make sure you follow Petrified syndereN here at syndereN Dota in the title of this broadcast. I'm at Zyori TV, and make sure you follow at Beyond the Summit as well. Sind, we're done for the day. Take care, buddy, and I'll catch up with you soon.
Yeah, see ya.
All right, cheers. So that's it for us, guys. Thanks for sticking around, and we'll see you tomorrow, same place, same time, for more Summit 3 action presented by Gigabyte. This is Phase 2 of China.
I was actually